Our interest in the Zemen Monastery is based on Dan Brown's best-selling novels, where he hints that the spiritual teachings which triggered the Reformation of the Western world were actually born there. At 1 kilometer away from the town of Zemen, it sits literally above it and offers breathtaking views of the town below. After enjoying all that for a few minutes, one continues and reaches the gate of the monastery. We slip right through it and we're in a yard. From there, only a few meters further, we can see the official entrance to the compound. Going through the entrance opens a beautiful view with the church to the right and the monks' sleeping quarters to the left. The church by itself is not a functioning one anymore. It is 1,000 years old. The structure was built in the late 11th century and has a cube shape, 9 meters long, 8 meters wide, 1120 high. The nearby bell tower is from 1878 and was built after the liberation of Bulgaria from the Ottoman Turks. The Zemen Monastery doesn't offer any spiritual services today. It was actually turned over from the Bulgarian Orthodox Church to the state in the 1960s, and today functions more as a hotel. There are some rumors that monks, while it was still an active monastery, would be placed there because of having mental problems after copying countless manuscripts and so on. You buy your tickets. They range between 2 to 5 levs based on whether you want to have the guided tour or not, and then off you go. The lines are relatively short, the wait is not very long, and you are allowed to enter. But photography and video on the inside is completely out of the question. They're very strict about telling you that you're not supposed to take any pictures. The following pictures are off the internet. Once inside, you can notice 2 different layers from 2 different time periods. The original one goes back to the 11th century and is in worse shape, while the later one goes back to the 14th century and includes several beautiful portraits of donors. The first one depicting a church donor, like a gray-haired local noble by the name Constantine Dejan and his much younger wife Doya. The name Doya is an alternative name to the name Theodora. Their 2 children are also pictured. Back outside, one notices that it's a beautifully landscaped place by someone who had great ideas of how to make people enjoy it and feel comfortable. There are ideas of putting a carriage in there to reflect the olden days when horses and horsepower was the only means of transportation. There is a coffee shop that also works as a restaurant nearby where weary travelers can have a drink or something to eat, and also a water fountain with cold mountain, beautifully tasting water. A closer look inside shows that many of the visitors have thrown in coins in there, and that in Europe is a way of saying, I like this place so much that I wish one day to return again. Right next to the entrance, part of the building is dedicated to the local livestock breeding museum. It's richly painted on the outside and looks impressive. Right in front of it, there's a sculpture of a ram that attracts tourists. Everyone has their picture taken there. Inside the museum, the artifacts reflect a long gone era of hardship and ways of breeding animals. In one of the hallways, there is another interesting sculpture of a ram decorated with golden coins on its head. It's made out of metal and looks massive and very heavy. Another tourist attraction for pictures. Upon leaving the museum, one runs into a metal totem of a ram. The chains hanging out of it. It looks really gothic and pretty cool. So, was it worth it? I would definitely give the experience a 4.5 out of 5 stars, with maybe the only weakness being that they did not have any guided tours in other foreign languages. Otherwise, it's absolutely worth visiting, and makes you wonder initially, what is the mystery here about this monastery? Is it just because of a best-selling author mentioning it casually, or is there more to it? Why would the Orthodox Church turn in one of our most cherished and important properties to the Bulgarian state in the 1960s? And what is it all about these rumors of monks going insane after years of copying manuscripts and being sent there to be closer to God? Like it's a mental institution, a spiritual healing asylum. Definitely worth visiting. I recommend it.